Well, good day. This is February 6th, 2014. My, how time flies. 2014, I was born in 1961. And you can imagine as the years rolled by, it is now 2014. And I tell you what, that is so strange when you think about it. I went through the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s, and the 2000s, and now I'm in the 2000 teens. It is ridiculous. It seems almost impossible. And look at all the inventions that have come and gone. Um, I mean, back in 1980, I knew nothing of technology. I didn't want anything to do with it. You would have never have found me doing a video like this in 1980. But now we have computers, and I said, I didn't want any computer. I bought my first computer in 1998, and that was an adventure. In the sense of the word, it was an adventure, and it was also terrifying. I mean, I got the book out. I got a book called Computers for Dummies because, well, I felt like I was a dummy when it came to the computer. But everything I learned about computers, I taught myself through that book or just by experimenting. And for a number of years, I did not do anything more about experimenting than what I really needed to because I was scared. But in the last few years, I have probably learned more than all that rest of the time put together because I have been branching out and learning more things about the computer. And it was quite a discovery when I discovered this recorder that I can do this with and put it on the internet. So anyway, and then it came to the cell phone. I said, no, I don't want a cell phone. And when cell phones first came out, they were like big, huge phones in a car. They were called car phones. And they were very expensive and it cost a lot to use them. Then came the first cell phones. I thought, this is ridiculous. Oh, they also had pagers, which I never did understand the pager completely. I never had one, didn't want one. And then the cell phones came out. I said, I don't want a cell phone that is just not me. And I refused to buy a cell phone. And, and then one day I was boasting about how I had driven for 24 years, I think I had said, and never run out of the gas. And then can you imagine the pride goes before the fall? The next day, I ran out of gas on Interstate 81 between Mint Spring and Stanton. And so I was about 4 miles from the last exit, which was Mint Spring. And I ran out of gas. And this scared me so bad because I was along that busy highway with no gas. And I had to run all the way back to Mint Spring to see if I could get some gas. And that was when I decided I'm buying a cell phone. And I bought me a cell phone. And but still I said, now this cell phone is only for dire emergencies. I'm not going to pay through the nose for every call I make, and I'm not going to be on the cell phone. It doesn't make sense to me. And I just did not like cell phone. So I only used it when it was necessary. But one day I heard on the radio I could win a certain thing if I called. And so I called, I got my cell phone out of the car and I called the radio station and I won something. I don't remember what it was. You know, it used to be I would win things on the radio a lot more than what I would now. I don't understand quite what the difference is, but I think it's because more people have cell phones now, and so it's just like a buffalo stampede to win something. Everybody is getting into it. and therefore it's harder to win something now. The most I ever won on the radio was $1,000 savings bond, which means I think that you save that thing until it's worth $1,000. Well, I didn't save it that long, so I did get some money out of it, but not that much. But that was probably the most valuable thing I ever won on the phone calling in a radio station. But it's hard nowadays. I just tried it the other day to win tickets to the theater, and I was caller number 7. And if I had closed my call off just a hair quicker and recalled, I think I might have gotten it. But I was a little bit slow, and I was just so I was too late. I think I could have probably gotten it, but so it is. Um, for some reason or another, people were slower calling that day than usual. And I was surprised that I was even caller number 7 at all. I mean, I was surprised I even got in to get verified that I had called. Because a lot of times, by the time I had called, it would be busy already. Just give a busy signal. Then you know someone has already won whatever there was to win. So I don't very often try to win something like I used to because it's harder to do. And that's probably one of the reasons that I don't win as much. So anyhow, that was that rabbit trail I have going off on to now about winning something, and I was talking about technology. Technology is scary. Technology, I mean, if you would just stop and think about it, the technology that has happened since 1980, it has just exploded. There is so much technology out there now that when people talk about different things that you can buy, I don't even know what it is they're talking about. I have not been in the technology market. You have uh, the uh, iPods, you have the readers, um, you have Xbox. I would have no clue how to use either of those things. Um, there are so many different new things out there to buy and to use and to learn. I would be kind of lost with those things at first. Right now, I'm trying to learn to play my keyboard. That is not necessarily a new thing. I had learned, in a sense, to play a guitar, but that thing just doesn't resonate with me. My guitar instructor had an agenda. He wanted me to become a famous guitar player. It's not what I was interested in. Now, to be a famous keyboard player, maybe. Uh, but to be a famous guitar player, no. Uh, it's one thing I don't like about the guitar. It goes out of tune, and you have to tune that thing up every time that you get it out of the case. And well, first of all, you have to know how to do that. So every time I went to a lesson, the music instructor tuned up my guitar for me. And that just seemed like such a waste of time and a burden, but that's what you have to do with the guitar. And I never did get really inspired to play the guitar. Just didn't. And but I did learn a lot about music, and it's not like it's present in my mind what I've learned. But if I were to go back to it and pick it up again and read up on it or whatever, I could probably remember a lot of what I have learned. But I do think that the keyboard is going to be a lot easier to learn and it's going to be a lot more inspiring to me. Then there's other things like electronic cameras. I used to hate cameras. They're so difficult to use. Now the electronic camera is a lot easier to use, and that thing is really something how you can, if you don't like the picture you took, you can erase that, and it just kind of like shatters like glass shattering. That their picture was just shatter like glass shattering. And I thought that's kind of like our bodies. What if our body just shattered away and that's how we died? We wouldn't have to suffer. We just shattered away. We wouldn't have to have pain or feel sick or just like slowly die. We could just go out like a light, just shatter away and be gone and disappear. That's how we could die, and we wouldn't have to worry about laying in bed and suffering and moaning until we're dead. No, it's not. It's not the way it is. We have suffering to do. We gotta either die slow or die fast. But uh, it's not like you just shatter your life out like glass and it's gone. Um, like that camera. That camera is such an amazing feature. Uh, and I understand the iPhone is a lot easier, and smartphones in general are easier than and have better picture taking than what my electronic camera does. And this may very well be true. But one day I hope to have a smartphone and probably an iPhone because they say that an iPhone will do everything for you. I don't know what they mean by doing everything, but one thing they talk about a lot is games, but I have no desire to play games. I mean, sometimes I get on Facebook and people invite me to play this game or that game, and I got into it a little bit, but I just don't have the interest in playing this game for an hour, that game for an hour, and that game for an hour, and that game over there for an hour. I'd rather go and actually play some game with a person if I was going to play a game. Um, I like the social interaction, and when I play these games, it's just like it's a dead end. I mean, I did that for an hour and I wasted my hour. It's gone. There's nobody there. And then there was this thing I tried yesterday called the Second Life. I do not understand the Second Life at all. I registered for it and I can't do anything with it. I don't know. It's just too technical. And I just don't understand what it's for. And so there I wasted an hour trying to figure that thing out and didn't get it figured out at all. And I just don't have the desire to waste my time on the Second Life. Let's get our first life going first. I mean, maybe I am in my second life because I'm past 50, and it's kind of like if I say I'm on my second million, what do you think? You think I'm rich, right? No, that's not what I'm talking about. If I'm on my second million, then it's because I gave up on my first million. Now I'm going to try for my second one. Then maybe I'll give up on that and go for my third million. Now, if I were to win lottery and win $600 million, what would a person ever do with half of that? Because the government gets the other half. What would you do if you had $300 million? Well, of course, you'd go out of debt. First of all, you pay off all your debts, which would not be but a drop in the bucket compared to $300 million. But then what would you do with your $300 million? You would have to become a smart person really fast because if you didn't, that would just kind of like disappear like you had a hole in your bucket. You know, it would be quite a responsibility to have $300 million. Now, I think I could handle 1 million. I really do think I could handle that. But to have $300 million, you know, first of all, you would probably just tell yourself you need to stash at least half of it away in a trust so you can't touch it. The other half you need to invest in something, but you would probably need to get yourself a partner that's smarter than you so that you do not buy a piece of real estate unwisely. You would make your partner an equal partner with you, but you would have to get somebody that you could really trust and is recommended. That's just a thought. I don't know. Maybe you wouldn't do that. Um, you know, once you actually win that much money, then is when you can decide what you will do with it. And you can get yourself an advisor that will tell you how to run your money. Because if you have not ever learned how to manage millions of dollars, then you're going to be in trouble. And I mean big trouble. So anyway, so that's the technology world that we are in. And oh, by the way, I don't expect to that uh, I will win 300 million or 600 million dollars anytime soon. First of all, you have to know how to play the lottery. First of all, and if you did that, that raises a lot of questions anyway. But anyway, so um, so today we are living in the technology era, and the old life is gone. It's just totally gone, and this new life that we're in, we have to grow into it because one of these days we're going to be faced with something that we don't know what to do. So we're going to have to adapt ourselves to technology because it's coming big time. And if we don't prepare ourselves, we're going to be left in the dust. So that's the technology world, and that's why I'm on this video, to share my life with people that don't know me and people that do know me, and to entertain people. Um, Now, some people may not find this very entertaining, but as time goes on, I will tell more stories again. But right now, my mind is just not functioning. I'm not inspired to tell a story, and therefore, uh, this this video is not as storyfied as some of my videos are. So thank you for listening.